Fernandina Beach, Florida. It's in northeast Florida, up at the top right when you cross the state line of Georgia. And that kind of leads me to my first observation driving down here. It took us 8 hours. MapQuest said 6 hours, but you got to figure if you could stop for lunch, you know. We left at 10:30, we got here at 6:30 p.m. And I'm beginning to think that's too long to drive for me. I know my brother loves to drive, and he's in his 70s. And I know a number of friends who still drive. They'll drive across country. I think those days are kind of over for me. I'm not that I can't do it, I just don't want to do it. What about you? How far would you drive for vacation? I think maybe Marianne and I were talking about it. I think maybe a couple hours, maybe. That's more like it. Look at all the boats there. This is the harbor. It's right on the ocean. It's a nice little town, quaint little town right here. We'll take a walk through in a minute before the tourists get up. But how is travel changing for you? I think on my cruise video, I said that taking 2 cruises a year like we've done for years is way too many, especially to the Caribbean. And we do still have a Norway cruise planned in July, but I think getting away, getaways and shorter vacations may be the trick. And that's what we started to plan. We planned a couple this year so far. By the way, what's the difference between a getaway, a vacation, and a holiday? I think Marianne and I were talking about that driving down here. I think a getaway, we kind of feel like 2 or 3 days. Maybe it's a kind of getaway, a local getaway, and those are nice to do in retirement. We're going to be staying 5 nights, I guess 6 days, 5 nights, like they'd say on The Price is Right. But is that a vacation? I guess that's a vacation, right? I'd call it a vacation. Holiday, I think that's a term used in Europe and maybe Australia. I'm not sure Canada, you say holidays in Canada? Let us know in the comments. I know Germany used to take the entire month of August off, and I don't know if people were actually gone for a month. If you're in Europe, let us know how that works these days. You take off an entire month? Couldn't they get it pretty expensive, or you just go with a cottage someplace? And I don't know how that works. I'm ignorant about that these days, so let us know. Anyway, I think breaking things up and not taking that huge, large trip is the way to go. There's some loud birds out here, I'll tell you that. There's one on top of that pole over there. This is the seaside here. They have a train track right across the street. It's kind of interesting, right on the edge of town here. And we're staying at the Holiday Inn over there. I'll show it to you here. And guess what? The back of it goes right up to the train track. I'll show a clip of that. So taking shorter trips, I think, and shorter vacations, maybe closer to home, maybe what we're going to be doing. Sun's coming up here. I wanted to film this before the tourists got in, so I think I did a good job. It's 6:30 or something like that Saturday morning, and the sun is just coming up over there. We'll take a walk and talk, but how has travel started to change for you? Are you taking shorter getaways and trips? Maybe more local, maybe, or at least within the country, less international trips. And driving, how far would you drive? That's a good question. How far would you drive to go on vacation? Again, it took us 8 hours here today, come down here. We've been here 3 days. We're going to be here 5 nights. Marianne's sister's coming from Savannah area. The last 2 days, so we're looking forward to that, getting together with relatives, so that's part of the trip as well. But 2 or 3 hours maybe is total. That way you wouldn't have to stop to eat lunch or anything like that, so that might be a good way to do it. Because if you go too far, you're going to have to stop and take a rest. I think most bus excursions talk about every 2 hours they take a potty break. Every 2 hours. It sounds about right. Sounds about right. Stop, get a cup of coffee or something. Anyway, I love that sunrise over there. Let's see if I can show it to you. It's behind the hotel over there. It's beginning to come out. But this is a nice little area here, right on the water. And it's right next to our hotel. And then on the other side, well, there's a train too. You can hear it in the background. I'll do a little walk and talk while we're going. So that was the first thing I want to talk to you about was the vacation, how they've changed in your 70s and 80s. I guess I'm still talking about the slow-go years. So I'll be turning 78 very, very soon. So that will be slow-go. And I started to talking about that last December when I was taking a cruise. And, that's something that I'm still feeling. I am. Even though we got a big Norway cruise coming up for 12 days in July. But I think twice about taking another big trip, I think, right now. I'm just going to walk right across here and show you the whole deal. I think we can go right across the railroad tracks right into town. Fernandina Beach is historic. This used to be a resort in the old days down here. People would come down from the Northeast and spend some time here. And that was as further south as they could go. You couldn't go any further south. In fact, one of the first things we'll come to up here is a bar that says the first bar in Florida is right here. First bar. What a distinction, huh? Wow. Let's see if I can get across the railroad track without getting knocked over. Oh, it's early in the morning, there's nobody here, so I'll just show it to you. There's the railroad tracks. There's the hotel of ours down there. And they got some really historic buildings here. I really like this slower pace vacation, small town. Fernandina Beach kind of reminds me of a few other places. They're kind of small towns, but they got these wonderful little boutiques and restaurants and very walkable. Some places that come to mind are Bangor, Maine. We love that. Or maybe Bar Harbor. Bar Harbor, not Bangor. Bar Harbor, Maine, I should say. Or Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Oh, that's a beautiful place to go on vacation. And you can walk around the square with the deer antlers and all that. And Greenville, South Carolina, believe it or not, is a great place to go. Good for foodies and very walkable. And it's got the Peace Auditorium where you can take in a show. It's kind of like Key West, really, it is. I'm going to continue this walk through Fernandina Beach in a separate, relaxed walking video. But for this video, I want to focus mainly on how travel changes as we get older. That's where we started over there, so we made full circle here. And I wanted just in closing to say thanks for watching, but also thanks for making all the comments and everything. I would like to hear your take on, as you age, how you change your vacations or getaways. Are you taking any at all? You just give up completely on traveling? Or do you take one trip per year, something like that? Or is it mostly to visit relatives and maybe things like that? Which is what we're kind of doing at the end of this trip as well. That's a good way to do it. So many people in my retirement community, their travel is to go see their kids, and they have a place to stay and they visit them, and they share in the babysitting and all that as well, of course, all the time. But that's one way to do it. Is your days of exploring over with? Are you content with you going to a small place like this and just relaxing and taking your time and taking a walk and strolling and not so much the adventure side of things, but just the enjoyment side of things? You know, um, what's this? What's this up on top of this? Is that a? I'm not a. I'm not a Florida person, but there is a some type of creature up there on the top of that pole. Is that a pelican? I don't know. He's, he's got his neck wrapped around there. Is he sleeping? No, he's grooming. He's grooming himself. That's what he's doing. Yeah, nice, very nice. Okay, and there's some of the. Looks like an old pirate boat over there. Replica, right? That's what it looks like. I don't think I want to go out in the water on that one. Looks like it may may start leaking anytime. I got to be careful where I stop. I think this is where they walk the dogs. But they have all kind of equipment that you can rent here. But like I said, I think those days are over with. I don't want to ski-doo. I don't want to parasail. We watched some parasailers yesterday. Oh, there was a little kid, a little teeny kid. It's a mother and their kid. I was like, wow, wow, go for it, go for it. You know, when you get older, sometimes you think you want to be risk averse. You know, you think that's dangerous. When you're younger, you don't, that's exciting. That's exciting. Very exciting. You don't get to do anything if you're so scared of everything. So, um, there's a cycle of life, isn't it? There's no doubt about it. Okay, I'm going to quit rambling and sign off here, but please leave us a comment. Appreciate you very much for watching. And this is Robert, and we'll have another video next week. 2 weeks from now, I think, of an entirely different topic. In fact, I've got two very exciting topics coming up. One is with Sally, a lady in our retirement community and part of our Walking for Fitness group, and she's going to review a trike, electric trike. This is Robert, over and out. Thanks very much for watching.